Good morning, people. We're heading over to Jensen Beach, Florida, which is about 2 hour drive from where we live on Hialeah. No, we don't live on Hialeah. But anyways, we're gonna go and get the NuCanoe Unlimited 10. This is a smaller version. I'm super excited about this little boat because from everything I hear online, it's gonna be amazing. And I got all kinds of motors and stuff that I want to add to it. The best part is that I didn't pay for it. NuCanoe sent that over for us to make videos. Thank you, NuCanoe. But you guys know that's not gonna change our opinion, especially this guy behind the camera. He likes tell it like it is for now. Hopefully it never changes, but we'll see. We'll see about that. He's already making faces. Let me show you who's behind the camera. Andres, will you tell the truth, but nothing but the truth, forever the truth?
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously.
That didn't sound too encouraging.
I mean, yes. Was that good enough for you?
Look, where we are now.
I can't.
Bass Pro Shops, dude.
Oh.
Finally made it to dealership, Worldwide Flyworks and Outfitters. Guys, we're picking up a brand new Unlimited. Where are we?
We are in Jensen Beach, Florida, at Worldwide Flyworks and Outfitters. I'm Rex Hannon. I'm the owner-operator of Worldwide Flyworks and Outfitters in Jensen Beach. I'm a NuCanoe North 2 paddle boards. I'm a fly shop mostly, but I do some guided trips. I do hosted trips, and I work with a lot of outfitters and a lot of guides in the area. So if you're looking to fish this area, there's a lot of good fishing, and you can call Worldwide Flyworks and Outfitters. It can be found on any of the social media platforms, and give me a call and I'll help you out any way I can.
I'm gonna need some, because I do have a fly rod, so I'm gonna need some flies for big tarpons.
There you go, I can do that.
All right, so wow, this is the hazard color.
This is the hazard.
Nice. This is a nice little cover.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You can take it with you. We'll just unwrap it and check it out, and then yeah, this is how they ship them now. They used to ship them. You can see how they used to ship them in plastic,
but now
and they started shipping them this year, and
wow. I mean, you see the pictures and everything, but you had to see it in person. That's why you need to come to a dealer and check it out, because they're nicer in person.
This is new. This is the it's nothing like they've changed. When I first opened, I started using NuCanoes probably almost a decade ago, and the big most popular kayak at that time was the F12. When I opened 2 years ago here, I bought a bunch of kayaks, and I wanted to make sure that they weren't going to change a lot of the models. And people don't realize they don't change models a whole lot because the cost of the molds and everything. But when they do change, they make major changes. The F12 only had 2 scuppers back in the day, and people complained about sitting in water, especially if they were paddling out in the ocean. The Unlimited series has like 8 scuppers.
So it will drain faster, and you could go in faster water.
As you can see on the F12, it had the old way to. This is how you held the paddle. This looped over. Here's the handles. They always got in the way.
Yeah.
The same way with the back. It just had a T-handle with a rope. It had the hatch up front that people were crazy about. And when they made the Unlimited, they took all this in. And another thing that they addressed was people were customizing these a lot more than they did back in the day. So what they were drilling a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get away from people having to drill holes. So what they did is they put easy access hatches. So they have these. So, and also one in the front. So you don't have to, if you mount a trolling motor, this is for all your electronics, where you don't have to, and you can actually run them back here, and you can come out here where all your wiring, you just don't have to drill holes anymore.
Or feel bad about it.
The handles are built in, so, and this is actually, the handle is built in, so nothing grabs on it, And it also doubles as your paddle holder. You can actually snap your paddle in there. The front decking is for the pedal system. That, you know, so you can take, NuCanoe has the only pedal system that I know of that can come on or off. Most have, you know, a lot of holes for
right, like you could take it off and there's no hole.
Exactly. You know, if you're fishing backwater, which a lot of people do, you don't want a pedal system in there because a lot of times you can't get to the backwater places where you would because of that.
Yeah.
NuCanoe doesn't have that.
It also makes the boat less efficient if you're running a motor.
This is really set up, yes, it's really set up for fishing.
Yeah.
Has a rod holder here where you actually screw that down and your rod handle goes in there and it actually holds it right here.
Wow.
And it's for 3 different lengths of rod. And, you know, obviously this has the
padding.
The padding deck added on.
And they also have like a complete like deck padding, like you could put the padding on all over the place. Like, see, like this here, you could stand it out on this area. They have all that.
This is, I mean, they really outdid themselves on the U10. When I know back in the day, the F12 was without a doubt the most, and their lineup was the one that was most in demand. But when they come out with the Unlimited, like I said, they addressed the issues that people had concerns with, or they addressed the issues where you didn't have to do a lot of things. They have the pre-drilled holes on the Unlimited where all your, like the throttle and stuff for
the rudder control and
that's all on the Unlimited. I don't see it on this one, but on the Unlimited 12, on the regular Unlimited, it has holes already drilled. Already has the holes drilled for
to put the base here for the bow mounted trolley motor.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
the GPS.
The wiring comes out right here, so no need to drill.
And also, if you make a mistake, you just replace that. So it's brilliant.
Yes, I mean, they really outdid themselves with this one, and I honestly believe the width and the stability of the U10 is a game changer. You're not sacrificing anything except a little bit of length, where if you fish mostly by yourself, that 2 foot you're never even going to notice, because in all reality, the U10 has just as much, if not more, floor space than the original F12 had, because of that lack of the...
Oh yeah, definitely. Great point.
So, I mean, the U10 is actually, I look for in the near future, the U10 to be the best
seller
in the NuCanoe lineup, which is saying something. I have friends that work with Jackson. I have a very good friend that works with Boat. And I just never swayed from NuCanoe because I think they offer, honestly, the best stand-up fishing kayak on the market today.
Super stable. You got a lot of space, especially if you're a fly fisherman. Yeah. And if you have a problem with speed or paddling, just put a motor on it.
Yeah, I can tell you straight up that the first time I used one was on the flats in Belize, and I know that day we paddled 10 to 15 mile, and no issues at all. But a lot of people think you need a long, narrow kayak for the ease of paddling, and I can tell you straight up that is not the case. I have never really ever talked to anybody that said anything about the paddling on a kayak on one of the NuCanoes. Yeah. They paddle very easy. They track very nice.
And that's because of the way the hull is shaped.
That's right.
It's very efficient. I had the F12 for many years, and I didn't have a problem paddling. Nope. But I do love motors. Yeah. So motors my number one go-to.
I have a couple right here. I have a couple of the 2.3s that, I mean, these were actually designed with NuCanoe. Honda and NuCanoe did a collaboration. You can get other small 2.5 horsepower outboards, but a lot of them have like your throttle and your reverse and forward actually on the power head of the outboard. So it's not the easiest thing to do to run the throttle or the shut off. Where with Honda, everything's right there at your hand, and it's just ease of use. And I actually, when they first started working with NuCanoe, you can go on one of my Facebook posts. A friend of mine had one of the first ones, and he would tow me around. And we have video of guys using them. Part of the NuCanoe team in Florida a number of years ago, we took a group up to Mosquito Lagoon, and the water was very rough. We were in legitimate 1 to 2 foot in the middle of Mosquito Lagoon, and I was in my little skiff, and there was a couple other guys out in there. They're new canoes, and I think they were using the F12s at the time, and no issues whatsoever in 2 foot. I mean, like I said, there was 2 foot waves up there, and he chugs right along, kept right up with our skiff, and they're just an amazing kayak, and you can go places in these that you're never even going to get in one of the technical pulling skiffs, you know.
Exactly. I mean, you could just use the motor to get you there, and if you don't have any depth, just bring it up.
And I can also tell you that it surprises me that more people don't use the gas outboards, because in all reality, it's the most dependable and the cheapest way to get motorized on a kayak.
Plug and play.
With the prices today of the lithium batteries, and by the time you get the outboard is even a cheaper option than the pedal drive.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, like $800, $900, something like that?
They're $1,100. They're $10.99, and I can tell you that they weigh like 24 pounds.
Well, if you get a 3 horsepower equivalent electric, alone the motor is like $1,300.
Absolutely.
Then you have to add the battery for another $1,000.
All the wiring, and all you really have to do for the outboard is right behind you is the metal bracket in the box right here. Nope, right there. See that metal? That's just a metal bracket that goes right here. I'm sorry, it's right here.
Like I see the old Yak Attack.
This metal bracket right here.
Oh yes.
Goes on the transom of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mount. This is it. This goes on the transom of the kayak. You mount your outboard on there, and you're ready to go. And when you come back,
boom,
there it is.
And you don't have to drill anything because the hole is already there.
The hole's already there.
You just bolt that in.
So all you do is when you come back, you take your outboard off, take that off, and you're back to where you were day one.
I remember the old days where they didn't have that adapter. There was a guy selling them, like he would like make it out of starboard on old Facebook groups and stuff like that. That was 2013, something like that.
Well, that is some of the issues that the Unlimited addressed. If you ever hear anything bad about NuCanoe as far as them not being durable, that's what happened in the early years. They were customizing them to do things that they weren't really set up to do. And I'd heard other people talk about, well, you know, I put an outboard on my NuCanoe and they didn't have that bracket, or the bracket wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And what it did was cracked. Well, obviously you can't take an outboard and put it on plastic like that because of the torque.
Yeah, just by torquing it's gonna damage the plastic, and then
This does it all.
Yeah.
There are some other things that they addressed. In the early years, NuCanoe used to sell a cart.
Oh yeah.
That went up through the scuppers. And the stress from the rails going up through the scuppers would stress, and that's one of the stress points on the kayak that they recommend not using the carts that go up through the scuppers. They recommend using a flat cart like the
Sea Tug.
Like the Sea Tug. Yes, the Sea Tug. I've used almost all of them. The Sea Tug is by far the best. It all comes apart. If you're going somewhere where you can't leave this behind, or if you don't want to take it back to your vehicle, these things you can take it all apart.
Yeah.
Comes in
the
half.
tops and
These
everything.
come off.
Could put the sand tracks.
Throw it in your. I think honestly, it's a little big to fit in the black box that they sell. But I've seen a lot of people get an old milk crate, and you can actually just throw this right in the milk crate, put it behind you, and it's pretty much out of your way. Yeah. It's just amazing what you can do with kayaks today.
Yeah, it's like a little boat. You know, you have so many options. You could put a bow-mounted GPS trolling motor, the outboard. You could outfit it with anything, really. People put like $10,000 worth of graphs and things on them.
You can actually, I mean, it actually amazes me if you're even a cheap skiff, your average cheap skiff with your average outboard to push it and everything, you're looking at $20,000. That's low end.
And talk about the push pull.
Yeah. Oh, you'll pay as much for a carbon fiber push pull as you'll pay for a kayak itself.
For the kayak itself.
And,
Yeah.
You know, so yes, this is by far, for the average person, a kayak is probably the best option that you can go with. It stores easily. You can cover it up. You can throw it in your garage. You can set it, put it under a cover, and it's right there, ready to use. At a minute's notice. You don't have to get your skiff ready, fill it up with fuel, do all that stuff, load it up. This is actually, and honestly, the easiest thing to do if you want to transport, especially for people that are a little older like me. Almost all the SUVs today, the seats fold down in the back. You can put the wheels on this. Mm-hmm. I'll put the C-tug on, put them towards the rear a little bit. I'll put them closer to the back. And what I'll do is I'll open up their hatch. I've done this numerous times with the older generation. And you can actually lift that up right to the back of their vehicle, go behind it, grab it like this, slide it in, one strap, and actually, if you put the wheels back far enough, the wheels can actually stay on. So one strap to hold it in. If you're not going very far, you can strap down the hatch, but most of the time you don't have to. You get where you're at, you just pull it right off, set it down on the wheels, go to the front, push it out, and you're ready to go. Yeah. Like you said, plug and play. This is lift and play. Lift and play. I mean, it takes 5 minutes to load it up, 2 minutes to unload it, and you're there. Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to deal with all the servicing and all the other stuff that you have to do with a big boat. So you have a lot of NuCanoes. I see here a U10 over there, the Flint, which is really nice for a paddling boat, the Frontier 12. I have one of at least every model, and I tried to have one of every color. Yeah. I mean, I might not have, obviously I don't have every F12 or every Unlimited. Right. But I generally have at least one NuCanoe in every color that they offer. And it doesn't take me, unfortunately, sometimes being so far down south, it does take them a little bit to get, if you special order something, it's not going to be here in 2 days or a week. I mean, it generally takes a little bit. That's a bit. But they could special order something from you. Absolutely. If you want a special order, I require a deposit, and it's going to cost a little bit more in shipping. The shipping is very minimal if you get something that's already here. But I'll just charge the actual shipping. If you want a special order one that comes in and they're not sending a truck at the time, I can give you a shipping quote to have it shipped right here and you can pick it up. I've already had a delivery as quick as 4 or 5 days. Oh, nice. So yes, we can work with you and get you what you want. We'll take a deposit and let me do the rest. Because, I mean, I would say putting a boat like this together, I think it would require some help because there's so many options that they could choose from. And it would be nice to just come here and talk to you and go through the process and order it so you get the right thing. And I can tell you another thing too. Do a little research before you come in. I can assure you that if you have any question about what you can do with a NuCanoe, and you get on YouTube, there is somebody out there that thought of that before you have. Oh, yeah. So you can, you're only, as far as what you can do with these, the only thing that limits you is your imagination and your talent. Because I can tell you straight up, there's people that did things with these that just absolutely. It blows your mind, yeah. They go out fishing for marlin. Yeah. In a kayak. So, I mean... there's so many ways to push. It's unlimited. And I mean, people say just get a boat. Well, this is a boat. Yep. Yeah. Unlimited, that's a great name for it because, like I said, it's unlimited. The only limit is your imagination and what you want to put into it, Yeah, the only thing I would say to that is just be safe there. Don't do anything crazy. Don't go in crazy weather. Develop a safety plan and wear your PFD. That's it. You're right. You're exactly right. I mean, I know in South Florida it's warm, and I know it's a pain, and a lot of people don't like to wear them. But I'll tell you what, it's it's almost weekly now that somebody, passes, is taken in a tragic accident. And that's something sometimes that's something they can't control. But wearing your personal flotation devices, that's something you can control, and they can save your life.
You know what I do? I turn it into a kind of like my workstation. I put my pliers in there, my phone, all my safety stuff, and it's with me. So I have to wear it.
You have to watch out for other people too. We talked about that earlier before we started recording, where a lot of times the boats, either I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. A lot of times those bigger boats aren't really watching for you.
Yeah.
But there has been instances that have been recorded where they just simply don't care out of lack of respect for somebody.
Yeah.
So you really have to watch what you're doing out there and just be safe.
Yeah.
Use your head, like you said. Don't do anything stupid. If you know in your heart where you say this is stupid, it's probably a pretty stupid idea.
Yeah. If your question is, probably is.